Thank you for giving me your time and giving yourself this time to be here today, because sometimes we put our dreams and big goals on the back burner. So the fact that you're here speaks volume to your commitment to your goals. And my name is Malvina Messler, and I'm the owner of Life Unleashed with Malvina, and I'll be your host today. So we'll just give it another minute, and then we're gonna get going because I've got a packed schedule for you. So if you wanna take notes, feel free to grab pen and paper. I also encourage you to stay active in a chat because this is immersive experience. This is like no other course or class you've been to. Mindset coaching is all about shifting your mindset while you do it through experience, and you learn those principles today. So I encourage you to get active. So tell me where you're tuning in from. I see someone from Warsaw. It is going to be an international crowd. So let's hear it. Denver, Colorado. Denver. Another person from Warsaw, Poland, if you didn't know. Fort Collins, fantastic. Well, welcome, welcome, welcome. And we are right on a dot. So I'm gonna get us started because even though this class is free, you are paying in another currency, and that is your time. And as a business owner, I do not take it lightly. So we'll have a little over an hour, and then we're gonna open a Q&A at the end. I also have some surprises for you at the end, so stick around. And feel free to be active in the chat, put your questions in there as well. Are you ready to get started? Okay. So I'm gonna share my screen, and can I just get a confirmation that you all can see my screen? Yes. Amazing. Thank you for your participation. This is first time I'm using this system, so we're all learning here. All right. So like I said, my name is Malvina Messler, and I'm the owner and founder of Life Unleashed with Malvina. And I wanted to welcome you to the Mindset Masterclass, where we're going to be talking about top 3 neuroscience hacks to help you achieve your goals and supercharge your results. So what you can expect today is learning how your mind works and what that means for you to achieving your goals. Also, you're going to learn 3 most common mindset pitfalls, keeping many of us from fulfilling on our dreams and desires. And finally, you're also going to learn 3 neuroscience hacks for completing your goals. So who is excited about learning this information today? And I'm going to do this throughout the call. I'm going to call on you and ask, hey, give me a yes or a no. So I know this is landing. Awesome. Thank you, guys. So let's get going. Tell me where you're tuning in from. If you're just joining the call, we've got an international crowd. We've got a lot of folks from Denver, Fort Collins, Warsaw, and other spots. I am actually hosting this call from my home in Denver, Colorado. So wherever you're coming from, I'm so happy you're here. And you're probably wondering, who am I and why I'm hosting this call? So I wanted to share with you the reason behind it. And I wanted to start by telling you a little bit about myself and where I'm from. So if you're picking up on this accent and you thought this was a Texas accent, you are very close, but not quite. I'm actually originally from Poland, so therefore my accent. So hopefully you're getting used to it and you can understand me clearly. And I wanted to share my story because growing up in Poland when I was a child was pretty great. And don't get me wrong, I had amazing childhood. I had wonderful family, but overall, I grew up in times of communism. And as you can imagine, that was a really great time in our country where, you know, we had words like hope and dreams in our dictionary, but we couldn't really relate to those words very often. Because if you know anything about the communistic regime, it really limits your possibilities. And this call is all about expanding them. You know, what I remember back then is that we weren't allowed to travel abroad. We weren't even allowed to learn languages, not even listen to Western media or radio. And why? Because it would expand our horizons. because it would possibly empower us to think for ourselves. So as you can imagine, options were very limited. And if we're talking about world of circumstances, because I'm sure many of you have your own circumstances that are kind of piling on and making you feel overwhelmed. Back in Poland, the reality was that you were waiting in line to the store to just pick up sugar or flour for many hours. We didn't even have candy. When my parents first brought oranges and bananas home, my neighborhood friends thought those were toys because they've never seen them. So talking about the world of circumstances, and I'm bringing this story up for a reason, because there was one day, a time in our country's history where one person single-handedly shifted the mindset of many of the Polish citizens back then. And that person came to Poland and started and was a motivational speaker and a mindset coach. Well, he probably wouldn't call himself that. You might know him by the name of Pope John Paul II. He was a religious leader, but who he was to the many Poles was someone who instilled hope. And what he was really doing was mindset coaching us. And out of that became such a profound shift in our country that a person who was barely had trade education and high school education of the name Lech Wałęsa, a shipyard worker, took it upon himself, inspired to install the change through his actions, started the solidarity movement, and that began the freedom of Poland and many other communistic countries. And now Poland is a thriving country, and now I'm here, and I honestly can say I wouldn't be here if not for that man who came to our country and installed hope. And so that is really why I'm here. This is my big why. This is why I take a stand for everyone's dreams and big goals coming true, because I believe we all get to live our best lives no matter what our circumstances we were born into. And in fact, here are a few photos of from my personal life. This furry creature is Rakis, my stepdog, and he is the love of my life. My family in Poland, my parents and my brother, an interesting fact, we're all a coaching family. My mom actually started a school for coaches, so she develops coaches very much like myself. My brother is an entrepreneur and also does relationship coaching, and my dad runs the business with my mom. So you can say this was in my genes to be here with you today. And over the course of the years, I definitely tried to challenge myself and expand my comfort zone by trying sports like, ice climbing, kiteboarding, and many others. And I think Pam is on this call, who got me introduced to ice climbing. So thank you for that. And now I live the life splitting my time between US and Europe. And, I call it a global citizenship. And this is the life I dreamt of for the longest time, and I've created it. So that's the same what I want for you. So tell me, is this landing? Are you getting a little inspired? Are you getting a sense of where we're going in this call? Because it's a call like no other. So few things about my professional career as a coach. It started actually very early on when I was 18 years old, when Poland started thriving, and we had a beautiful economy. And I worked for a company called Dynamind, and that was really when my eyes opened up to the world of neuroscience and really expanding on what it means to use your brain consciously and how we can leverage the power of our mind. I was only 18, and I was teaching people how to memorize better, how to read faster, how to concentrate and create mind maps. Often my clients were twice my age, going for their PhDs, maybe advancing their careers in medical field, and wanted to learn a lot. So a lot of times we were very surprised to see an 18-year-old teaching them something, and then they realized that this is not something that even in their PhD track, they are taught in academia. And so they were working with me, getting great results. And since then, I became a certified mindset coach, transformation coach, and I'm also on a path to be certified trauma coach and a spiritual coach. And most importantly, I am fully committed to your transformation on this call. And so I will be asking you to participate with me. Are you up for it? Can I get a heck yeah? Hi, Yelena. Thanks, Dean. Awesome. So before we get going, I wanted you to really walk into this call with a different energy. So before we begin, let's do a little breathing exercise. And what I would invite you to do is take a deep breath and exhale, exhale. Another deep breath. And this is a simple exercise that helps us calm down our nervous system. And now I would invite you to visualize, why are you here? Why did you accept this invitation to join me here today? What do you want to get out of this call? Because this really sets a foundation. Being intentional in anything we do in our life is the key component to really committing to something and seeing it through. So let's see it in the chat. If you can type in, why are you here? What's your commitment to in terms of getting out of this call? Let's see where you're all at. And if you're still wondering, what am I doing here? Here are some ideas for you. Sometimes people participate in this type of conversation because maybe it's you're a pro at achieving your goals and you want to learn new strategies to supercharge your results. Maybe you're achieving attainable goals, but not those bigger ones that really matter to you. Maybe you're discouraged because you've tried different strategies and you just can't seem to generate the results you desire. Or maybe you're just tired of putting yourself and your dreams on the back burner and you're claiming 2022 to be the time for you. Or you feel like life has more in store for you, but you just can't quite pinpoint what it is. So let's hear it. I'm committed to authenticity in the new year. Tara, yes. Yelena, optimistic attitude towards goals. Yes. Dean is refining mindset goals. Adam is expanding his charity. Oh my gosh, what a huge goal. It's affecting not just you, but so many people. Incredible. I'd like to find personal happiness in a relationship and my business is already good. Exactly. Maybe you're not here for those, stereotypical goals of more money and more advancement in your career. Maybe you just want more joy, more aliveness, more alignment. So whatever it is, I love it. Thank you so much for sharing that with me. So let's get going. Who wants to know how we can get it accomplished? Do I get a yes? 0.5 from your wrist. Awesome, Violetta. Perfect. Let's do this. So now that we know what your dreams are, and now I would love for you to be very specific, because if you can identify one specific dream or a goal, as specific as you can, even in your mind or in a chat would be awesome. Type it up because you'll need it in about 15 minutes. And you'll get more out of the call if you do that. Are you up for it? Okay, let's get going. So before we do anything, before you do anything in life, you always want to ask yourself, are you committed? Because if we're trying to achieve goals that we're not committed to, no strategy, no mindset coach will help you. So now ask yourself this question, are you committed to this goal? And type in the chat, I'm committed if you are. Let's hear it. And you're not doing it for me. I am actually coaching you how you can get results for yourself. So having that commitment for yourself will get you on a right path, even outside of this call. Yes, Pam is committed. Tara's committed. Rachel, I'm committed. Yes, Eric. Awesome. So are you ready to learn how? Okay. So before we can dive into all the details, I wanted to tell you a little bit about what's the science behind everything that I'll be sharing with you. So mindset coaching is really rooted and grounded in neuroscience. Neuroscience is the scientific study of our nervous system, and it focuses on the brain and its impact on our behavior. So let's dive in. First of all, we have two minds. And if you're having any aha moments throughout this call, type them in. So the first, we have our conscious mind that we're very much aware of. It's a conscious mind. That's where the will comes from, the logical thinking, our decision making. But guess what? It's only responsible for about 5% of what our mind is at work at. So what happens to the 95%? Our subconscious mind kicks in to really support the conscious mind 95% of the time. Who has already heard this? I'm sure if you're on this call, you're all about growth mindset, so this is probably no new information. So this is a great system, wouldn't you agree? Because imagine if you're deciding to go to the grocery store, you grab your keys, you get in your car, you decided consciously to do that. And then you start driving, and that's when subconscious mind takes over. You're putting keys in the ignition, putting seatbelt on, taking right turn, left turn. You don't even know you're doing it. You're actually having a conversation with your mom, or you're changing radio channels with your conscious mind while subconscious mind is driving to the grocery store. That's the power of our mind. Who is excited about this? Like, I thought it was so brilliant, right? So now if we know this, imagine whenever you think you don't have enough time, you're right, or you're exactly what you say. But if you see the power of the brain and you know that consciously you only need to be busy 5% of the time because subconscious will take over, how much more productive can we get and keep our well-being too? So if this is such an awesome system, why aren't we achieving our goals? Like, this should work on autopilot because subconscious mind works on autopilot. Well, there's one problem with the subconscious mind. All those orders that are pouring into subconscious mind are usually diluted and distorted with what's already in the subconscious. And that is our unhealed childhood trauma, our cultural programming, our negative self-talk, and our BS. Yes, our belief system. Yes, and that really alters the output of what we're inputting. So let me hear from you. What are we seeing for yourself? Okay, perfect. So who would like to know more? Are you ready for more? What if you could tap into your brain's power? What if you could actually be in control in a driver's seat of that bus, of that conscious mind, so every order would come out just as you put it in? Who would like that? I definitely would. Let me see. Yes, perfect. So there is a way to do it. And actually, neuroscience teaches us about neuroplasticity. Neuroplasticity explains how the brain improves its functions, growing new neurons between existing neurons as a result of experience. And that is why I am so pushing you to be participating, because if you want to get something out of this class, that your participation is that experience that informs, sends signals to your brain, and the brain says, okay, yes, let me grow more synapses in a brain called growth mindset, success, happiness, and joy. And in the same manner, you can also weaken certain synapses, and that's when you want to get rid of certain habits. So those aha moments that you get as a result of new habit or belief being formed in a brain are sending signals, and the brain is actually changing its physical structure. It's quite phenomenal. So that this is exactly how the new mindset emerges. And now I want to ask you a question. Are you ready to experience neuroplasticity at work today? Because you can experience it today. This is not a class you wait to take your notes and apply tomorrow. You can actually do it today. Can I get a heck yeah? All right. I love it. Thank you, guys. I love this crowd. Yes, commitment to your dreams. Yes, Irena. Yes, David. Yes, Dean. Awesome. All right, let's get going then. So, are you ready to discover free neuroscience hacks to boost your results? Yes. Alexandra, yes. Awesome. Violetta, yes. Okay, let's do this. So, neuroscience hacks. There are actually neuroplasticity gives us access to consciously program our brain to create thinking patterns of our choice. So there are actually 3 steps to subconscious reprogramming, because this is exactly what we call it in the world of coaching, mindset coaching. And the first step being awareness. Awareness. So once the subconscious thought sees the light of your awareness, you can now literally rewire it. Who would like to just rewire some limiting beliefs, the thoughts that don't serve you, this like, I can't do this, I'm not enough, who am I to go for this dream? Who would like to shed some layers of that programming? Yes? Okay. So good news is you're about to get even more aware about your programming that is in your brain. The bad news is that a lot of that programming, just like the iceberg, is submerged and not visible to us. And if that's the case, it's sometimes really hard to really get to the bottom of it. And that's why mindset coaching was invented, because as a mindset coach, what I do with my clients is I actually help guide them to uncover their blind spots. And mind you, this is not me telling someone and diagnosing them, but rather guiding you through different questions and exercises so you can have that aha moment. And so that's the uncover step 1. And then what happens in a step 2 is that subconscious reprogramming. So you have a decision to make once that happens. Let's say you want to be fit and I want to have a fit lifestyle, and I see a pattern that maybe I'm always reaching for cookies and sugar whenever I feel a little sad or upset. So now I have this pattern that I'm aware of, and I get to decide. So no coach will ever force you. No one will brainwash you to program your brain. It's your decision. Do I want to still keep the cookies going, or do I really want to dive into this new commitment that I have and do something about it? And so what you can do about it is repattern. And of course, there are different techniques. I'm sure you've heard, who's heard of positive affirmations? Who's heard of The Secret, universal laws, cognitive priming, habits, new habits, right? All of that works, but it only works if you're really uncovering and addressing the right limiting belief in a program. Because that's the reason when sometimes affirmations don't work, because we're just declaring, but we're not really repatterning. So the step 3 is that critical step that will really assure your new results. And that step is action. I can talk and talk here, and you can listen and listen, but until you take action, nothing will change. And so the fact that you're taking action, you're being active in the chat right now, that's already turning your brain and sending signals to your brain that, yes, I'm committed, I want to learn this. And it's essentially building this new muscle in your brain. How cool is that? This simple. So once you embody something, once you create those habits for 90 days, that's when the long-lasting results really happen. Okay, so let me check in with everyone. What are you getting out of this? What stood out for you so far? I know we're going fast because I want to get you results. I want to get you clarity. I want to support you on in your dreams. So let's see. What stood out for you? We talked about neuroscience. We talked about 2 minds. We talked about neuroplasticity and 3 steps. The creating of new neural pathways, Suzaita. Yes, Jessica, rewiring synapse wired together. Yes, absolutely. Exactly. Awesome. All right. So It's happening, Rachel. I sometimes do it backwards and then have to learn from mistakes. Action, decision, awareness. So a different approach. Got it. So also, I would invite you not just take notes, but also if something really resonates in terms of what I'm sharing with you, a little hack, shortcut to learning is don't just write down what I'm saying, but write down what you thought of as a result of what I said, because that will accelerate your learning for sure. Okay, so I got a question for you. Have you heard of law of advancement? Would you like to know what it is? Yes. Okay. Law of advancement. This is my favorite law. And let me ask you this question. What does a seed have to do to become a tree? What does a seed have to do to become a tree? A seed has to first go down to the ground, to the soil, then grow roots, and then it finally grows into becoming a tree. So it has to go down first in order to go up. So that's one thing, right? Nurtured, watered, yes. Sprout, awesome. But there's one more thing that the seed has to do. Wanna know what? The seed has to be willing to cease to be a seed so it can become a tree. The seed, I will repeat that, has to be willing to cease being what it is so it can become what it wants to be. And that is, my dear, law of advancement. So it so applies to us. In order for you to be what you have potential to be, you must be willing to stop being who you have been so you can become all that you can be. So let me hear it. Is this landing? Ego death. Yes. Yes, exactly. Release that perfection is there, right? Release the controller. Yes. To mean that's unlearning what I once learned. Interesting. Love this. Believe and you will become what you believe, Pam. Yes, absolutely. Awesome, you guys. So in terms of your goal, of that big dream that you've put in front of yourselves, where do you see you haven't been willing, start noticing, where were you not willing to stop being, to release what you've been so far to go where you want to go? Let's say if you're a business owner and you want to 4x your business, and that would mean that you have to probably release having this one office you're in and a small team and probably current systems and processes, because in order to get to 4 times Xing your business, you might have to hire more people, move offices, install new systems and processes, and really become a different kind of business owner, right? Wouldn't that be make sense? So this is where you ask yourself, where was I not willing to do that? Because that is a big one. This could be holding you back. So let's hear it. Do you see it for yourself? This is what I was talking about, immersive learning. Start seeing that. And if you have any aha moments, send them my way. I want to hear from you. Okay. Thank you, Lisa. It was great having you here. Okay, so now imagine there are actually some pitfalls and paradigms that are universal to a lot of people. I told you that we all have blind spots and they're universal to us, and that's where we might need an outside help to really uncover them. But also there are some culturally, shared blind spots and paradigms. That's what we call a pitfall, a paradigm. It's a collection of habits which are based on our beliefs about ourselves and our world. That generate our circumstances, experiences, and results. Because your beliefs create your thoughts create your actions, and your actions create your habits, which create your circumstances of life. That's how powerful our mindset is. So Let's dive into this. Who wants to know whether you have experienced those pitfalls? Are you ready to hear more? Yes? Okay. Perfect. Okay. So the first one is delay. And I'm sure you've heard it, but the reason it's on this list and you're hearing it again is because it's the big one. It is the big one. What's one word that kills more dreams than any other? I know you know this one. Let me hear you. Yelena says delay. I hate it. Can't. Oh, yeah, that's one of them for sure. Procrastinate, doubt, overthinking. Gosh, you guys are really good at those. Should. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, yes. And one is tomorrow. Tomorrow. Have you seen yourself tomorrowing your life, your goals, your dreams? And also notice, I know that there are many professionals here on this call, and notice how come at work you're diligently fulfilling your tasks, going after those goals and objectives that were set out by someone else, and somehow in our lives we are putting them on a back burner, and there's always tomorrow. This is for you to know that this is a paradigm, meaning that this is not you speaking. A lot of people identify themselves with their limiting beliefs, but we're not our beliefs. We create our beliefs. We are in charge of our beliefs. And sometimes we just adopt our beliefs, from where we grew up, where we worked, who we were friends with, subconsciously. But we are not our beliefs. And so if that paradigm shows up, says, tomorrow, don't do it today, there's always tomorrow, you can go after forexing your business next year, or you can look for happiness and joy 2 years from now, because your career is going really well, so why would you interrupt that? And there's always that delay. So start noticing, and let me hear you. Like, are you seeing where in life are you delaying? Let's look at that together. Hopefully you're seeing something. Pam, comfort and control and familiarity keeps us where we are. Fear of unknown. Yes, so there's more layers to it, right? It's not just delay, it's the fear, it's the comfort. Absolutely. Opportunity is what is on the other side of fear. Yes, and that's why you're the ice climber chick. Yes, I love it. Okay, so let's look at the next one. Distraction. Tomorrow never comes. Yes. Distraction. So distraction, of course, if we're scrolling Facebook, watching Netflix, we all know those distractions, but I'm talking about those sneaky little distractions, the ones that we're not so aware of. And that's the paradigm that shows up for many. And it's called, you know what, if I'm going to work on this marketing document on my computer, I'd better clear my desk, organize all my tools here. It will be better experience. Or, you know what, maybe I should do the laundry first, or cook dinner, or go for a run. And we're just creating different distractions for ourselves. Or have you ever heard of a website that never gets built? There's always more you can add to this website. It can always be better. It can always, and so forth. So those are the distractions. So start noticing, and they're usually rooted in critical thinking. So there are reasons there, it's not bad to be an organized person. It's not bad to want to do laundry and clean your house, but start noticing, when is it showing up just to take you out of the game of playing big in your life? When is it showing up as a example of your ego wanting to keep you small, so you're not gonna become that tree, so you just stay that seed? So let me hear from you. Subtle distractions, the perfectionism trap. Yes, there's a name for it. Exactly. Start noticing that, and start noticing it in regards to that one specific goal that you set out for yourself. Because in the beginning of this call, I told you, you're going to need that dream or that goal to use later in our conversation. This is the time. Start looking at this particular dream and start seeing, where did you let the paradigm of distraction take you out of the game? I could never write a term paper in college until my house was clean, Pam says. Laundry, vacuum, dishes, yeah. Tara, perfectionist just makes fear of rejection for me. Yeah, masks fear of rejection. I hear you. That's true. Absolutely. Okay, so as you're creating this first step, awareness, start noticing. And are you ready for the third pitfall? Third pitfall? Okay, let's go to the third pitfall. Third pitfall is dissuasion. Dissuasion. So the dissuasion is the negative self-talk. That's who am I to forex my business? Or I, how can I deserve the greatest love of my life? Or based on my age, really, I can't. Who am I to achieve this or that? And so start seeing where your dialogue with yourself is less than empowering. And ask yourself, if you heard your friend say those words about herself or himself, what would you say to them? Would you be speaking this way to the loved one that you have? Or would you be encouraging them and seeing them for the greatest potential that they are? Of course you would. And be kind to yourself. I invite you to really be kind to yourself, because negative self-talk is really where we can start identifying what is really lurking in our subconscious. And also, when you start identifying what excuses or reasons do you give when someone asks you, I heard you wanted to grow your revenue next year. I heard you wanted to buy that mountain home. So how is that going? And then you have all those excuses. And I want to encourage you to start looking there. And this is not a blame game or anything like this. In fact, I want to free you for guilting yourself, because it's not you who's procrastinating. It's your paradigm that's showing up, and as a result, you are procrastinating, or you may be delaying, or you're just freezing and you're not taking action on your goals. And just start recognizing that that is not you. You were born a winner. You were born whole and complete and full of possibilities, and no circumstances in life can change that unless you let them. So, Pam, probably my biggest pitfall, negative self-talk. Don't be selfish. Yes. Oh my goodness. Okay. Now there's so many ladies on this call, and it applies to everyone. But we often, deal with the lack of self-appreciation, self-care, and self-love. And of course, we've got some cultural programming to support that, gives us all those reasons to say, well, this is how it is. And so we don't just have to break through the ceiling for women. I mean, look at all of us. We create our own ceiling. We create our own box. So if you were to say something kind to yourself today, what would that be? Instead of saying, it's going to be hard to forex my business, or why would I even start that nonprofit? Like, who am I to do this? Who's going to help me? Who's going to fund it? Start asking yourself better questions. How great will it be once I open that nonprofit? How great will it be once I see the impact on my community? How great will it be seeing all those philanthropists that are pouring money and resources to my cause because they share the cause? And all I have to do is show up and say, I'm doing it, right? So what are you saying for yourself? Ruby, I doubt if what I'm saying is important. Oh, wow. Okay, that's a good one, Ruby. How many of you are not even chatting, not even putting anything in a chat because you don't think what you have to say is important? Honestly, if you are finding yourself in that moment, just know it's not you, it's your paradigm. It's that negative self-talk, it's that mini mind, it's that ego, and it's not you. So who's gonna win today? The ego or you? I hope the answer is clear, because you said in the beginning, you are committed. You are committed. And the universe will test us. Every time there is a big game we're playing, that there are big stakes, we're going to be tested. Did you really mean it? Or were you just saying that? And over, we will have an opportunity to repattern and say, yes, I did mean it. I am taking action on opening that nonprofit. Yes, I did mean it. I'm going to make calls. I'm going to send messages. Yes, I did mean it. And again, it's not just one-time thing. It is the cultural programming and our belief system that's been installed for the longest time. We now need to take time and effort to repattern it, to build those new neural pathways, right? So what you have to say is even more all that important, Suzaita. Yes, to Ruby. Awesome. Yes, you see, we can be the stand for other person to see for their greatness, but sometimes we don't do it for ourselves, right? So it's always good to have that partner in believing. Until you believe in yourself, have someone who you can be, who believes in you and believe in their believing in you, and see what happens. I love people like that in my life, and I always strive to be that person for my friends, my community, and my clients. And that's like the best job ever, to be your cheerleader, to show you the path. So, who has seen this one? I don't want this anymore, because I've seen this one take me out of the game big time. And that's the one where you simply, your mini mind starts telling you, your ego starts telling you, you know what, you don't actually want to 4x your business. You don't actually want to more work-life balance, joy and happiness. You don't, because what this would mean is you have to hire more people, you have to maybe work less, whatever the equation, and you start creating this reasoning in your brain why this may not work out. So start looking there. Yelena, my negatives being noticeable brings you only problems. Oh, that's interesting. Yes. So that is, you can see how that is a limiting belief, because if Yelena walks with that luggage, saying that, thinking this to herself, it's probably going to stop her in her tracks whenever she has something to share and voice. And so what would be a more empowering belief to replace it with, if she chooses to? It could be, being noticeable allows me to share my voice and inspire others. Immediately a shift, right? So start seeing it for yourself and repatterning. Okay, so I love that you're seeing a lot for yourself here. And now let me also share this with you. Life begins at the end of your comfort zone. And I know a lot of people already said that. So again, if you want to become someone new, it will require that you relinquish your programming and operating system that we've been using so far. If you want to create a new video, you cannot use Excel spreadsheet to create a video. You have to use a different program, a program that's aligned with that task and that objective. Okie dokie. So, are you getting how when you remove delay, distraction, and dissuasion, you become unstoppable in your life? I want to hear it. What's your biggest takeaway so far? What are you walking out of here with in this point of our conversation? It couldn't be failure because I didn't want it anymore. Oh yeah, it couldn't be failure because you were in control. You chose, you didn't want it anymore. So that's your way of avoiding failure. Got it. So much mindset reprogramming, Suzaida says. Jessica, believe in yourself and the rest will follow. Yes, Dean, 3 pitfalls. Awesome, you guys. Awesome. So now, in order for all of this to land and really create some new neural pathways to help you with your dream, we need to take inspired action. And so what is one action you can take that you can see for yourself? And I would encourage you that you set that action to be today, not tomorrow, not next week, because that's a paradigm, but start with the action you can take today. No matter small or big, just put it in. What is the inspired action? Pam says, stop the negative self-talk in its tracks. Shift your neural pathways. Yes, awesome. So just jot it down. What are you committing yourself to? What's that one inspired action? Big or small, but the action towards your dream. And now if you have that action, I want to ask you, take it. Are you committed? Are you committed? So are you committed to gaining clarity on your life vision, activating your fullest potential, and turning your vision into a reality without fear or self-doubt? Can I get a heck yeah here? Who's committed? Stop the constant self-doubt. Yes. Okay, let me hear it. So now let's use the knowledge about our brain to really anchor it. So now I would invite you to take another deep breath through the nose, exhale through the mouth. Another deep breath. And now put your hand on your heart and say, I'm committed. I am committed. If you're in the office, some people may look at you weird, but hey, you are committed. So say to yourself, heck yeah, I'm committed to my dream.